Hi guys, this is Rosita Applebaum and I'm here with a tutorial. Today is October 1st, so I was very inspired by very dark and sultry looks, and also I'm using the Viva Glam Rihanna 2 lipstick, and it's this really unique gunmetal color. The eyes are kind of like an olive, but they're not matte, so they have a sheen to them, they have a glitter, and the cheeks are very dewy and they look very wet. I actually am using the Josie Maran Brightening Face Balm, which I'm obsessed with. This is the first time I used it and it just gave me the most pretty dewy look. So I'm really excited for this look. I hope you guys enjoy it. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you can always substitute the lips for a nude or a maroon or burgundy or pink, really any color. The eyes are an olive, but they're kind of like a muted olive, so they're not too green. I like that the lips kind of are a gray tone because it kind of goes with my shirt. This shirt's actually from H&M. So if you want to see how I got this look, then keep on watching. Bye guys. So I'm starting off with Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, and this is a pore minimizing primer and it's oil free. Next I'm using the Rosebud Salve, and this is just a lip balm to moisturize my lips. And for foundation I'm using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I have this in the shade 5.75 and I'm using a damp beauty blender to apply this all over, and I'm just bouncing it, and this gives me enough coverage where it looks even but my skin still shows through. So I'm really loving this foundation. It definitely leaves a nice dewy finish, and I'm just using, like I said, a damp beauty blender to just blend that all over and make sure to get every single crevice. For an eye primer I'm using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Glitter Glue, and although I'm not really using a pigment or a direct glitter, I just like using this because I feel like it really makes any shadow just last a lot longer. So I'm just priming my eyelids with that, and I'm just making sure to get all areas of the eye. And I'm starting off with Bamboo. This is a great transition color. This is by MAC, and I'm using I believe a Sigma brush, and I will leave a link down below to a code and link that I have for 10% off any Sigma brushes. So I'm just going to blend this into my crease, and I'm using this as my transition color. I like to use a nice warm brown shade, nothing too dark, but I just like to lay that down first. Now I'm using this Edward Best shadow, and this is in the color Dusk, and I got this on Haute Look. I absolutely love Haute Look, and I'm using a Sonia Kashuk brush, and I'm just using patting motions just to really pack on the color onto the lid, making sure not to get into the crease too much. I just want to focus this on the lid, and I'm going to do the same on the other eye. Now I'm using another Edward Best shadow, and this one's called Escape, and I'm using a Sigma brush, and I'm just going to be focusing this on the V or the outer V of my crease, and really just focusing it and packing on that color just to kind of deepen that crease up and create more definition. And I love this color. It isn't completely matte, but I feel like it just has enough warmth where it just is a great not transition color, but just a great crease color overall. So I'm really loving this color, and I'm just going to be blending this upwards and then into my crease, and I'm using kind of wind wiper motions as well as little circular motions to really just blend that in. Now I'm taking a clean MAC brush, and I'm just going to be doing a lot more blending, and I'm going to take another MAC brush, the 224, a little bit more of that Escape brown color, and just really bringing that upwards and really high up, close up to my brows, and then just blending that all throughout the crease and upwards. Now I'm going to just speed through my brows. I'm using MAC Lingering Pencil, and I will have an updated brow tutorial. I was kind of rushing my brows this day, so I really didn't perfect them here, but I'm just basically filling them in, outlining them, and again I'm using Lingering by MAC. I love this pencil. It's really thin. The only thing is if you apply too much pressure it will break. So like I said, I'm just gonna speed through this because I took forever and I just didn't really like the results, but I'll be fixing my brows later on with some dip brow pomade, so I'll show you guys that in a minute. Concealer slash highlight, I'm using Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is one of my favorite concealers of all time. It's from the drugstore, and this is in the shade Sand, and I'm using the same damp beauty blender to just blend that upwards, and I feel like this concealer is just amazing. It has a great consistency and it really gives you a nice coverage, and it never looks cakey. It always looks very thin, and I'm just obsessed with this concealer. So again, it's Maybelline Fit Me, and it's one of my all-time faves. For an inner tear duct color, I'm using this Kiko Cosmetics Wet and Dry eyeshadow, and this is in the shade 200. They did open up a Kiko Cosmetics in Queen Center Mall, and they also have one in New Jersey, so definitely check that out. And now I'm using this MAC Pure Flash Electric Cool eyeshadow. This has a really neat consistency. It kind of feels like butter, and I'm just applying that over the olive color just to kind of give it some sheen. I'm not going to be creating a dramatic wing this time, but feel free to do so if that makes you happy. But I'm using the Inglot number 77 gel liner, and lately I've just been enjoying like a really small wing or very minimal eyeliner. I feel like it goes so well with like these sultry looks, so I'm just using an angled brush. And again, this is a gel liner and it's so pigmented. Again, it's by Inglot and it's so creamy. I absolutely love this gel liner. It's one of my favorites. Set my concealer, I'm using Bare Minerals Well Rested powder, and this is one of my all-time favorites, and I'm using not a Sonia Kashuk, a Real Techniques brush. And now I'm just adding a little bit more of that Escape, and I'm using a MAC brush to really just focus that into the crease. And then I'm going to be taking that underneath my eye. So again, this is Escape by Edward Best, and it's just like a really nice warm brown color. So I'm really bringing this kind of low. I'm really dragging it down and creating a very smoky and sultry look. You know, bring it as low as you feel comfortable, but I feel pretty comfortable bringing it really low. It might look a little crazy right now, but once you add your lashes and your lower mascara, everything kind of just evens itself out and it just looks really nice and smoky. Just make sure you blend this so it doesn't just look like brown underneath your eye. Like, you want it to look smoky and you want it to look blended. And now I'm actually using a Pro Color by MAC. This is Emphasize. It's actually a shaping powder for your face, but I'm using it as a brow highlight. It's just a flat matte white. And now I'm using Revlon Bold Lacquer Mascara on my lashes because I am going to be applying some falsies, but I love to apply mascara beforehand just to create a base for them, and it just makes sure that they blend a lot easier and it looks a lot more transitioned, I guess you can say. But I'm just applying this and hitting my lower lashes as well. And this is Revlon Bold Lacquer Mascara. It's one of my all-time favorite drugstore mascaras. It's awesome. And now I'm using MAC Costa Riche pencil, and this is a red toned brown. And I'm using this in my waterline, and I'm just going to be applying a lot of pressure. I really want this to be very pigmented, and I'm dragging it down just a little bit underneath my waterline, so into my lash line just a bit. This is just going to be a softer look than black. You can use black if you like, or nothing at all, but I just wanted to add some brown, just a pop of color into my waterline. For lashes, I'm using Red Cherry number 43 lashes. These are one of my favorites. I don't have to cut them. They fit my eye perfectly, and I am just applying them with some tweezers. I will have a video up on like false lashes and what glue I like to use and some tips and tricks, but here you can pretty much see that I let the glue dry, so I let it get tacky, and I'm just using the tweezers to kind of lay them down as close as possible. Here you can kind of see the glue, but it will dry and it kind of looks like they're not all the way down, but I promise you that my eyelashes were all the way down and close to my lash line, and they were set. Like, they didn't come off, so yeah. For contour, I'm using the NARS Casino Bronzer, and I'm just doing a light contour, or for me this is a pretty light contour. I'm not using the NARS Eater Brush. I'm just kind of going along my cheekbones, and I'm also warming up the rest of my face, so my temples, underneath my chin, and just warming up my face because I just wanted to add some color to my face. And I'm actually going to be adding another bronzer. This one is kind of just very like matte and you know, dark brown, but I am going to be adding a more orangey tint just because the lips and the eyes are very cool toned, so I wanted to add some warmth. But here I'm just using, like I said, NARS Casino bronzer, but you know, feel free to use whatever bronzer you'd like. This one's very dark, so I'm going to go in with a Marc Jacobs brush to blend everything out and make it look a little bit more, yeah, blended and seamless, because again, this is very dark, so for someone fair skin like me, this can look very like stark and very unblended. So I'm going to use a Marc Jacobs bronzer brush to really just smooth out all of the hard edges and give me a more blended look. One of my all-time favorite blushes. This is MAC Warm Soul, and I'm using the e.l.f. blush brush, or actually this is a complexion brush. It's like $3 brush, and I love using this brush for my blush. And again, MAC Warm Soul, it is amazing. I love this blush. I want to get Margin by MAC, but this is again Warm Soul, and I've always loved it, but lately I just feel like it goes with every single look, and it just looks so effortless and like real. It just doesn't look too much. It's perfect for the season, so I'm just applying this pretty low, like into my cheeks. Normally I don't go this far down, but I kind of been liking that look. Now I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown. I love this stuff. It gives me that like extra pow to my brows that I really need, and it just sharpens them, it defines them. And I'm using a Zoeva brush. This is my favorite brush for this step. It's just like an angled brush, but I just feel like the bristles are perfect for this kind of product. And yeah, I'm just outlining my brows. I am gonna have an updated brow tutorial, but here you can see I just outlined the ends, and I'm using dark brown. This is the only color I really like or that I've tried, so that's just what I use. Now onto the fun part. I'm using MAC Viva Glam Rihanna 2 lipstick, and this is like such a crazy color. I like would have never pictured myself buying this or using this like a year ago because it's so like out there. But I'm gonna warm it up and I'm gonna lighten it up with some nude. But yeah, this is a limited edition color, and it's by Rihanna, so it's a Viva Glam 2. So I'm using Honey Love by MAC to give it a more gray tone. Like I feel like the nude with that kind of copper, it created a nice gray color. I love gray lipstick. I actually don't own a pure gray lipstick, but I just wanted to create my own. So I'm using Honey Love, and that's what that looks like. So you can leave the lips matte, but I wanted to add some shine. So I'm using this lip gloss by MAC, and it's a gray lip gloss. I will leave the name down below. I don't have it right here, but I believe it's called, no, I really don't know what it's called, but I'll leave it down. I know it's part of a collection. And here I'm just blending everything out again with that Marc Jacobs bronzer brush. I love this brush. It is absolutely amazeballs. It's pricey, but it's so well worth it. I love this brush. Oh, and I'm also using Give Me Sun here. I'm blending everything out, but I have a little bit of MAC Give Me Sun, which is that orange tone bronzer that I was telling you about, just to give me more warmth and color to my skin. Now onto the highlight, my favorite part of doing my face. I'm using this Josie Maran Argan Brightening Face Balm. I believe this was discontinued. I know they had it on KQC or QVC, whatever that site is. But I got this on Haute Look when they had Josie Maran on there, and I am so glad that I picked it up. It's kind of like a face balm. It's just like a wet kind of cream product, and I didn't expect this to give me such a nice highlight or a dewy look, but this really just gives my skin life. Like, it doesn't look dull anymore. I've just been like staring at my cheeks all day. It's amazing. And then I actually use that eyeshadow, the Pure Flash one by MAC, just right on top to give it more of a shimmer. And I was just experimenting basically. I'm using an eyeshadow as a highlight, so feel free to like play around with your makeup and don't feel limited to what it's supposed to do. So that is the complete look. I hope you guys liked this and found this helpful. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.